Good morning. I am on fire. I am so excited because I am with some of the most incredible young men, humans on the planet. Maybe I'm a little biased because I do train them and coach them, but they inspire me every freaking millisecond because of the way they continue to show up in the world so far beyond everyone that I could ever meet. And it's so inspiring for me, and I'm so honored to have the privilege to work with them. So welcome to the Power of Self-Evolution with me, Karen Lovely. And these guys are from all over the country. We had to wake up early to do this call, and it's all about sharing their breakdowns, their breakthroughs, the results, and their successes. So that said, good morning, guys. Woo!
Good morning, Karen.
All right, so let's start right into it. I want to start first with Cody because Cody sent me a text yesterday about a 5-star rave review from a customer or client. So Cody, you're up. Let's talk about this. I read it and you got a 5-star review and then you attributed it to the coaching. Yeah.
Yeah, what's funny is it was our first kind of formal review from a true customer instead of one of our friends or somebody writing it out. And so it's good to see, in its truest form of what somebody else really thinks of our company and how we operate. And she just made some really good comments about, over-the-top communication. And I can tell you through coaching and stuff, I've grown to better speak up and to better communicate. And it's through some failures and some missteps that have happened on other deals in which we have reverted back to, or not reverted back, but have pivoted into better communicating because of the failure in the past.
Okay. So, Cody, can we even admit that communication, you weren't really even a communicator? Isn't that kind of the way that it was in terms of, yes, really speaking up, listening. Communication is the art of listening and the art of speaking and also being of service, yes? So that's why you would get a 5-star review. And I did read the review. She was saying things like, it was the best experience of my life. Cody, this, da-da-da-da-da, right? Is that she felt like she could trust you and that she was... that you were there to be of service to her and what she needed. Now, granted, let's just give a quick backstory about what business you're in. So go ahead and tell us of the business you're in.
So we buy and flip houses and wholesale some, and this is just another seller that we talk with. And in the past, we've had sellers, a lot of sellers are squirmish, and they get scared if they don't hear from you or what's going on. So we try to not keep people in the dark. And it was my goal to check in with her every week and maybe a couple times a week, just see what's going on and let her know that everything's still good. And she even said it in quote, Cody's weekly check-ins and constant communication were above and beyond anything I expected. No, but our competitors aren't doing that. They don't nurture and relate to some of these people the way Chris and I do. And so I just feel that we're more powerful in the beingness and how we communicate with other people. It's all intentional and all on purpose.
Yeah, it's all by design. And the very thing we've been working on in coaching. So congratulations. That's amazing. And your partner's on the call. Chris, come on down. What would you like? Hey. Yeah, what would you like to say about this from your point of view?
I have to back what Cody's saying about our competition is not doing this, and we have been heavily focused on this for some time. And I would say that it's definitely been as a more of a collaborative effort between us rather than a competition thing where, we're able to get more deals, be more efficient with our time, and have more rave reviews as a result of the coaching and how we're able to communicate with each other, with other people, and just the business as a whole.
Okay, so all the wealth is in communication. Underneath the communication is the beingness, our ability to feel confident, to feel fully self-expressed, and to hold people accountable. But over and over again, the two of you, and you are in private coaching, the two of you have transformed your beingness, because back in the day when we met, this was not the case. And now, okay, Chris, go ahead. Not just the customers, right? And don't be afraid to, share and acknowledge yourselves here. Is over and over again, they say, Chris is different, Cody's different. Dealing with you is a pleasure. You get rave reviews that aren't even up in writing. Isn't that true, Chris?
Yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so particularly a couple days ago, I got someone who told me, I've talked to people in the market, buyers, and they said that they really have enjoyed working with you guys, particularly me. Not that Cody's not good, but just that they had verbally mentioned my name and said that they enjoyed and appreciated working with me.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I have had to have some pretty tough conversations with some of the vendors that we work with, meaning like title companies and buyers, just to get everybody on the same page, because communication is key, and most of the time humans that operate on autopilot do not communicate effectively. So it's up to me to enroll them and get them at their best all the time, especially when it comes to doing business with me, because our sellers that gave us a review for Cody, they're relying on us, and so it's up to us to get the job done and take responsibility for whatever it may be, so that we can get the best result for them. That's really all that we're going for here.
Exactly. So, Chris, talk about the breakdown for you personally. What was the big breakdown that was stopping you from being this powerful in your communication? And take us through that.
Really, it was...
Yeah.
It was the fear of speaking up. So by nature, I am a people pleaser, or at least my wiring. I'm a people pleaser, so it's sometimes hard for me to call people out and to say what I'm really thinking. But through the power of the coaching and really unblocking a lot of those things that I've had, I've been able to hold people accountable and have those tough conversations and be a leader rather than someone who wants to be liked. And as a result of that, I've gained a lot of respect with a lot of the vendors that we work with, and that's where I'd say I definitely thrive in the business.
Yes.
I'm going to interject here too.
Yep.
Being partners with Chris, he has stepped up, and he is ferociously just speaking to these people in a manner of which I'm like, man, I don't want to mess with Chris. He is stepping up to the plate and showing up to these companies and letting it be known that you're working with us and we're going to get this done on time type thing.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. So, we have really had to dig deep and get rid of the blocks from your childhood, okay? That's where our power lies, is in childhood. Get rid of the blocks so that you can actually step up, show up, and communicate effectively and deal with vendors, sellers, all sorts of different people to produce the results. So this is amazing. Congratulations. Okay, so getting rid of
Thank
the...
you.
You're so welcome.
I have to acknowledge myself, too, because of the work that I put in.
Yeah.
Let that be known.
Okay, absolutely. So this is not for the faint-hearted. This is not for weekenders. This is nonstop, always training, always practicing, effective practice. This is for the extraordinary, not the ordinary. Okay? This is for a very small percentage, and trust me, it's amazing. Every other day I wanted to quit on myself because it was almost too much for my brain and my mind to handle. So yes, is the work ethic, and it is a requirement. But the results, the rewards, the prizes, the magic is so worth it on the other side. Most people just focus on the work. They don't look. You have to have vision. They are not thinking, but if I continue to do this, I have a chance at gold. I get to put myself in a position to win gold. And that's what you always have to represent, even when you want to quit. So that's amazing that you brought that up. Okay, let's hear from some of the other guys. I would like another breakdown where something wasn't working, and then what was the epiphany? How did the coaching facilitate tapping into your genius, and the result? Who would like to share anything, if anybody? Tony, come on down.
Yes. All right. First, I just want to say congratulations to Cody and Chris, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yes, I want to say congratulations to that because I relate to that because I've been going through very similar situations related to work. So basically, at work, it's been very, very hectic. But I've been having my training wheels off, if you could say in other words. So they've been basically throwing me out by myself, earning my stripes, testing my skills to apply what I've learned so far. And honestly, it's been going very smooth, and it's been making me very, very content, very happy, naturally, because I have these communication skills as well that's helped me out so much in order to understand what my client wants, and they've said nothing but great comments about me to my supervisors, and word gets passed down to me. And honestly, that feels so amazing to get that type of response. So then, like you were saying, also, Karen, like it's not just about like the work, but it's like little things like that. Hearing little things like that is what makes it pay off. Mm-hmm. And with the training, I can definitely say that since our first private call session, the big one that we just had not too long ago, I've naturally felt like 100% better about myself, naturally calm, naturally happy with anything that I do, whether it's at work or outside of work, and that's helped me out so much, just bringing that passion, especially at work.
Yes.
And also, a big distraction of mine was smoking. And I can proudly say that this week is my second week without smoking. So it's been such a big help, too.
Wow.
Not being distracted by it.
Wait, smoking, because...
Nicotine.
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
Or vape. Oh, okay. I didn't even know you smoked. So...
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Congratulations. Right?
So I just wanted to put that out there. Yes.
So what was it, Tony? What clicked in your mind to have you not smoke? Like that you chose to say, okay, I don't want to smoke anymore.
Well, I thought about what we talked about in our call a lot. So I was literally just listening to our call the other day and, trying to see if I could take more notes, anything would click, like my aha moment, Yeah. And what I got out of it was basically we were talking about some traumas, and then you said, hey, what would you do differently? Would you try your old ways and continue to do that? Would you try, the same way? Or with new information that you now hold, would you be willing to try a different way, a new way? So basically, I've had a good support system because my girlfriend has also stopped drinking. She was never a big smoker, but it's been a big inspiration. My brother actually has been calming down on drinking as well. He even came up to me and said, hey, man, you want to work out sometime? Which caught me by a big, big surprise. Yeah.
Okay, so, yes.
Wow.
So your beingness and showing up as a leader, Tony, is impacting without even trying. I always say it's not, you don't do anything extra. It's in your beingness. You're inspiring other people around you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I remember I mentioned it to you, and you said, hey, I think the best thing you can do is just lead by example, naturally, not force anything upon anybody. And I think that's been helping out so much. And I think people have been seeing that glow, in me.
Yep.
People have been seeing me differently. And I always think back to you.
I would think back to what we've talked about. I'm like, wow, she was right. Naturally, without even realizing it, you're gonna be like, oh, oh shit, oh snap, like I'm not even realizing, but people are, and it feels damn good.
Congratulations. Yes,
man, that's amazing.
Is that amazing?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So that's incredible. And, thank you, Tony, because this work in our beingness transfers out to everyone and everything in our life. And we don't even have to do anything extra. We just have to do ourselves. We just have to be ourselves. And then learn to just speak up and communicate effectively and powerfully and compassionately. And you know what? We don't even need to talk. We just, in our beingness, you see this? We can feel the energy.
Yeah.
We can see the glow. We can notice, and we do, that something's different. And that's huge for your brother, because that was a big concern of yours, is your brother drinking.
Oh, yeah.
So I love hearing that. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that. Incredible. All right.
Thank you, Karen.
You're so welcome. Now, I want to go to Bronson and Colin, because they just finished the 8-week Passionpreneur series. And it was a hoot. And I would love to hear from either one of you or whomever would like to share as to what you got out of it, but what you didn't expect to get out of it, and what you did and why. So who would like to share?
I can go. You can go, Colin. I'll go after.
All right, good.
Okay.
Both of you. Perfect.
Yeah. So the Passion series call was phenomenal. I did not. The answers I got from it were something I was not expecting at all. One of the biggest things that I took away from it was follow your passion, and that's when the real liveness in your beingness elevates. It's my mistake of following the money early in life, and so that was one of the biggest things I taken away from that call, and going more into the liveness and the fun of life. I explored some deep things about myself through the coaching that I never really even knew. I was chasing and doing the wrong things, and the things that really made me happy and the things that just made me have a chip on my shoulder, I didn't even explore in my life. And so I discovered a lot of those things. And it opened up a lot of possibilities in my future that I can go down, and I'm really excited about. But overall, it was a phenomenal call, and it brought a lot of joy to me.
Yeah, thank you, Colin. That was great. Now, Col, do you remember any of the breakdowns, where you were kind of stuck, and then the epiphany that came through in anything specifically? Do you remember?
Well, one thing was my resistance to myself. So I always fight what I think is right or wrong. And so just being able to accept myself for who I am and who I'm not. And so basically building up my relationship with myself is the biggest thing. Because I personally was finding trouble in accepting what I may like or may not like. So just being able to explore and be open and accepting myself for who I was really challenging for me. I would always think that. It was very hard for me to be open and just have faith that it would come and the things that I would like would come. So just being open was one of my biggest breakdowns, and my breakthrough was having faith. Just having faith and it will come.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. We really have to dig deep. And unless we dig deep, we're actually not going to de-root or get to the root cause of the problem. And if we don't get the root of it out, it never goes away. And it will never, ever be obvious. It's going to be insidiously hidden and lurking way in the darkness of the unconscious mind. So that's awesome, Colin. Congratulations. I mean, I totally want to get into it, but we can't. We don't have time. But we had a lot of fun laughing because we did say, I want to say this, as we're going through the passion, you guys thought that maybe this was your passion, that was your passion, this was it, that was it. And we just had a lot of fun with it. So, Colin, you want to talk about that a little bit? About, you know, thinking it was this, thinking it was that, and maybe how you were able to really, hone it down and get clarity.
Yes, on it. Of course, yeah. So actually, it was kind of funny. I'm deciding what my next step is, and so I didn't leave anything off the table. And I was going back and looking at what was fun when I was growing up and what I think's fun now, and just balancing every idea. And so, you know, one week I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I'm gonna be a cosmetologist, or I don't know, a philosopher. And then the next week I'm something brand new that I had no idea. And so there was one thing in particular, and Karen will get a hoot out of this, that I thought was it. I was like, all right, this is it. This is what I want to do. And my last name is Kegel, so I wanted to open a bagel shop named Kegel's Bagels. And I was like, I'm like, dude, this is it. This is perfect. And so I sat on it for like a week, and I'm like, no, this isn't it. This isn't it. And so it was just like a bouncing of ideas.
Oh,
and
that was
finding what was working and what wasn't.
Okay, what was my comment on your homework when you said I want to open my own bagel shop called Kegel's? I'm sorry. It was so fun. I'm almost sad that you're not doing it. But what did I say on your homework? Do you remember? When you
said a lot of things about it, Karen.
I know. Oh, okay. But did I say maybe it wasn't playing big enough for you?
Oh, yeah. You said it's too small for you. And, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Was I nice about it? Or was I just like, you're playing a little too small? Or maybe you're playing a little too small. I think my energy was there, but I kind of wrote it like, I think this is too small for you. I don't feel that it's going to really highlight your greatest, inner genius.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did highlight that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't living up to my fullest potential.
But a lot of fun. And Bronson made a great comment. Bronson, do you remember? Because you guys did the call together. What did you say about that?
I mean, you're talking about the bagel idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you as well. I don't remember the comment. I remember it was out there, though. It was on my mind. I just threw it out there, and I almost couldn't believe I said it. But the things that Colin was talking about, the things that, me and Colin would have 2-hour conversations, one-on-one, about things that he's interested in, and we're talking about super advanced stuff. And that bagel thing, I was just kind of shaking my head a little bit. I don't want to say it for him,
right?
But I agreed with Karen at the time. I was just like, this is way too small, especially with his potential.
Right, but we have to. It wasn't up to us to say it, but the point is, all of you have to. We can say it's this, it's that. We can tell you what to do or how to be. No, that doesn't do it. Is we have to realize it for ourselves. But I tell you, a bagel thing was fun because you can do so much with the bagel. I'm ready to jump in the bagel costume and do a little dance in the commercial for Colin, Is like, oh my God, I see the costume in my mind. Let me run down to the Disney store down here in California and pick up the bagel costume, But, and you did. You said, I want a franchise, so you were thinking bigger. Yes. So that was great. But the point is you had to realize it and circle back, but the creativity was there. And boy, didn't we get a lot of joy just discussing that opportunity or option? I did. I mean, I made one joke after another, but all of us really enjoyed that, didn't we? Or was it just me?
Oh no, yeah, that was probably our best call.
Okay. I was practicing a lot of my stand-up comedy on that call there. So thanks, Carl, for that. All right, that's awesome. Congratulations. And nothing wrong with a franchise. But the whole point is, where did that even come from, Colin? To think of bagels. Do you understand this? You never talked about it. What a way to really ignite creative, visionary thinking, yes? Is that came out of nowhere. And to just even explore it. See, that's the point too. Is so many times people don't even take the time to explore their passion, let alone clarify that it's really it. And, you know, a lot of people, especially men, they will open the bagel store. They will franchise it. But guess what ends up happening? 15 years later, they sell it. And they start looking for their real passion. Do you see this? So what we're doing here with the coaching is shortcutting things and streamlining things. Seamlessness, yes? You want to hit your target head on if you can, as fast as humanly possible, with the least amount of effort and the most amount of joy, fun, and laughter and freedom. Okay? So that's great. Thank you. Woo! Okay. Bronson, let's hear your experience. Yes.
Yeah, for me, it was mainly the clarity that was involved. I kind of went in tying my job to my passion, thinking that, you know, I need to get paid for what I'm really passionate about. And I really struggled with that early on. But around week 4, you know, I started thinking deeper and tapping into the emotions that music actually brings to me. And certain things I hear whenever I make music, like if I play piano or that emotion, that excitement that it brings, I decided to kind of tap into that a little bit and do more of it. So I downloaded like a DJ app just for free, and it's called Audacity, and messed around with it, and that just excitement, that high frequency that brought to me, I kind of realized that this is it. So there's like clarity there that, there's a process of learning music, and it's very, very painful, especially if you're passionate about it and you have ideas. And that's where that love-hate relationship came through for me. I'm still learning it, and it's still painful because, I can't get there fast enough. But it's that consistency that you talk about. And that experience I'm having with the music just makes me happier overall. And that portrays me as a happier person even at work. Because beforehand, people would just make comments and just ask me, what's wrong? And I had no idea. I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Like, they're like, oh, I don't see you smile that often or whatever. And I just felt like within the last 3-4 weeks that I'm just making music, I'm just having better communications with people. I don't get triggered as much. It just, I'm just overall just happier than I was before.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And another thing, I also became aware, and this is what I'm dealing with right now, is I'm attaching, there was limiting beliefs about myself, and I would attach it to money. And, starting out in, just music, just downloading software is really expensive cost, especially up front. And I was putting a price tag on my passions. And, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, do I really want to drop, $1,000 on a software? What if it just doesn't work out, And I know you made a comment in the passion call to invest in your passions, because that's going to bring opportunities just in your life in general. Even if you're not making any money, it's just your frequency level is going to bring opportunities, even whenever you don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
It actually has brought opportunity actually yesterday for me. And
what's the opportunity? What happened?
So with me, and I struggled. It's pretty much 9 months in the making with me having conversations with my manager and being more vocalized in deal team meetings and just being happier in the office space. And Thursday, I got very, very discouraged. I was in like a conference call, and it was like a national call with work, and I felt like it hit a roadblock, and there was no like opportunity for advancement. And I was extremely present in that moment. I felt my emotions. I was trying my best not to get triggered, but it was extremely emotional circumstance where I'm in from the news I was hearing, and I just felt like there was no opportunity for me to move up. And I actually texted Chris yesterday, and I was like, look, I've been thinking about this all day, about having a conversation with my boss. I don't think there's an opportunity for me to move up. I just want to see if I can just ask him and just be brutally honest and just tell him where I'm at and what I'm struggling with. And me and him were going to set up a call just to have a one-on-one conversation because I asked for advice, but I just kind of dove into it. And it was almost like it wasn't the conversation was difficult, but it was like natural. Like I wasn't because I was like experiencing. I was extremely present. I was, the thing that was very difficult to have was eye contact. I noticed, but other than that, we had like a 20-minute conversation. I started off with performance. I started off with, his thoughts on next year. What is that going to look like? And I kind of went into it and kind of discussed where I was, kind of mentioned, and I said, look, I understand, I'm very comfortable with having this conversation with you because I understand, because I know that you understand where I am. And I was very direct, let him know where I was. And in that moment, and then he stopped and he's like, okay, you do deserve a promotion. I said, yeah, I do. He says, okay, where are you going to get it? So it's kind of like that validation of speaking up. And,
ta-da!
I think it had a lot to do with the passion piece, too. Because I was a lot, my mood was a lot better all day. Even in that moment, I would have been broken down probably, and very nervous to have that conversation. But there was something in there that was, I guess, pushing me to do it. I think the frequency in there was there.
Yes. We have been working on this. You have been training for this. And I put it out there on several occasions that you have every right to ask powerfully. And sure enough, that's what happened. But you're also saying because of the passion that you reignited a passion that you have for no other reason than it makes you feel good, Bronson. And that energy is coming through, yes?
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And ta-da, so you just put yourself up for a promotion by speaking up. Is that right?
Yeah. But speaking of, this is the third conversation I've had about it. With the promotion issue. Mm-hmm. This was the only time where he was like, I can make it happen and we're going to get it done immediately. It was like a totally different, it was more direct.
Yep. Powerful.
Got to dodge out of it, yeah.
Right, but you also brought the evidence in to prove your worth. You have been showing up, producing results at work. We can't deny that. So
it was more of a structured conversation.
Yes.
Yes. It was like, I was there, I had a structured person just diving in and not knowing where to go.
Exactly.
That's a lot with being present too. Yeah.
Yes, being present. You've been working on all of this in your beingness. You're not even the same guy. Let's get some comments. You guys, most of you know each other except Tony, but Tony's super cool, obviously. First of all, right, the music aspect. First of all, the bagels. Kegel's Bagels did, because Colin, you were referred by Chris. Chris, did you have any idea that he was thinking of opening a bagel franchise? Also, no
idea, but I do know Colin is an inventor and a very masterful one.
Yes, but bagels.
It was surprising at first, but definitely knew that if that's something he settled on, he'd crush it.
Right, and so you're also friends with Bronson. Did Bronson ever really talk about music as his passion, guys, before he got into the coaching series, the call series? I want to hear what Cody and Chris have to say about that. I'm sorry, what?
No, I didn't hear anything. I was like, hold on, DJ Bronny.
That's the whole point.
Dude, I do got to say, though, I've seen a lot of growth in Bronson over the last year just having him talk with you because just him explaining him being more happy in the workplace, who's happy at work. But he's more awake now, more conscious. I think that's a large part of it is being super aware of what's going on and not just being asleep all the time.
Right, exactly. And when we say asleep, being not conscious, not super conscious. Great. That's Cody, that's awesome. But I mean, isn't this shocking? You guys are friends. You're like hanging out. You're doing some, a little bit of business together. You're hanging out. You're playing poker, right? You're having drinks. You're smoking cigars with each other. And nobody knows your truest passion. Don't you find that odd? Like, who knew? So that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Really crazy. Yes? Like, hello? So tapping into that greatest passion and just being it and doing it just to be happy organically is everything. And in due time, if you become proficient and you master it, people will start to offer you money for it, or you can actually put yourself out there and people will hire you if you so choose. But that was not the first part of the passion series. It was, let's just find your freaking passion. Okay? So congratulations. Amazing. So any comments so far? I'd like you guys, what are you hearing for yourselves as you're all sharing your successes, your breakdowns?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so when Bronson said when he got forward projecting, and that's a big thing of mine, is I like to forward project to the future and instead of look at objective reality. And I think a little bit of what was happening with Bronson was that very much thing is forward thinking about the no promotion thing and getting in his head and getting triggered. He was talking about that. I was able to relate a lot of that into my triggers and forward thinking out to not enough leads or money coming in or whatever it is down the road that's not even happened yet.
Oh, wow. Great, Cody. You were listening, and by Bronson just sharing that, you got something for yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just everybody forward projects, and I get to see that he's going through the same kind of problem with thinking too far out into the future, and that's the same thing I've done, except it's two different thoughts that they were projecting out there.
Yeah, is just assuming and speculating, oh, there's no promotion here. There's no money coming in. There's no more leads to call. Based on what reality, though? There was no reality to back it up. And that's where we have to watch ourselves and catch ourselves. Great observation, Cody. That is awesome. Anybody else? Step on up.
Yeah, this is Chris. I've got several things.
Okay.
I want to go back to Tony's ability to acknowledge himself for his ability to influence those around him. What I saw in that for myself was that's something that I struggle with, is accepting acknowledgement from other people. And so to see Tony do that is great for me to read presence. So shout out to Tony for that.
Great. That's so nice. Great job, Chris.
And then with Colin, I've been having calls with Colin once a week, and the whole self-acceptance thing is something I also struggle with. And so seeing that and relating to Colin and talking about those things has really helped me be more self-accepting of myself. So in talking about that, really struck a nerve in me, if you will. And then with Bronson, the speaking up aspect is something that I struggle with. And so to see him speaking up was a great thing for me to read presence. And see and look at my objective reality to say, like, well, where have I been speaking up? And in reality, those things are happening. I just don't give myself credit. And so it's really good to represent those things for myself, because those are my my weak points that I'm working on. And I continue to work on. So
okay, brilliant, Chris.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes. So it was very inspiring to hear Bronson share how he was nervous, but he still spoke up. And that he was...
Yeah, and he was present in the call, in his conversation, and was able to navigate the conversation because of that. Yeah,
but he still took action. He was proactive. He didn't stop himself. So, and to hear someone else share that, right, it was inspiring for me to hear. Just as a human, not as a coach, but just like, oh my God, it reminds us this is why it's so important to be courageous and confident and have those conversations, even if they're scary, and even build up to it. That's what I'm getting from what you're sharing, Chris, is that there's an inspiration there when you guys share with each other. Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. Anybody else like to speak into what you're hearing? Yeah, go ahead.
Tony, so with the promotion with Bronson, speaking up, that plays a big role on as well. That it's one of my weak points, especially at work, just because probably the youngest dude on the field, and I feel like guys with different types of backgrounds in work, they feel like they're always naturally just superior. You know, that pride kind of gets the best of them. So whatever the way they're used to working and getting the work done is that's the way you have to do it. You know, even if you see something that's not right, and you know, are you just gonna go with it? You're gonna accept that, or you're gonna make yourself uncomfortable and be like, hey, hey man, that's not the right way to do it. That's not how we hold our standards. You know, that's how you held your standards before, but not here. So when he says that, that kind of stood out to me, because that's something I struggle with too. Like, hey man, I have to speak up, because at the same time, like, I don't want to just accept it and just follow and be like, oh, okay, well, you know, let's just get paid and get over with, the job's done. But no, hey man, like, you know, I want to make sure it's okay. Like, if the client's happy, that's gonna make me happy. That's gonna make me feel 100 times better, instead of just kind of messing them over. Because I could have changed that if I spoke up, you know. But if I didn't, then man, there would have been a Mickey Mouse job, if that makes sense. So it makes a big difference in speaking up.
Oh, huge. Okay, Tony, you brought up a great, you guys can certainly relate to all of this, is dealing with your elders or authority figures. So you guys are millennials, and you're dealing with people that are not. And you're actually learning to speak up regardless of whether they're your elder or an authority figure. That's what I'm hearing here, Tony, is that because you're one of the youngest guys in the field, you know, you're dealing with your elders. So, right? And you feel like you need to listen to them at first, but now you're actually holding them accountable. That's what I'm hearing here. Is that right?
Yeah. Correct.
Age has nothing to do with anything. Okay? Has nothing to do with anything. It's all beingness. Okay? It's all beingness. You can be 8 years old and get this coaching. Of course, I don't use any big words. Okay? But it's not an age thing. It's a beingness thing. And for you guys to speak up to quote-unquote perceived authority figures, that's huge, to be able to just level the playing field as human to human and just communicate. So that's awesome. Great point, because that's what I'm hearing from you, Tony. Does anyone else want to talk about this authority figure thing? Because I think it's good to
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. That actually, so I'm in banking now, but before banking, I was a manager, an operations manager for a rental company. And I actually quit that job because of that issue. I was 23, and the youngest technician that I managed was 45. I dealt with a lot of stuff, and I lasted 6 months because of it. You know, I was a young kid, but you know, I still had no coaching, no training at all. But, I ended up leaving that because of that, because of the older people, and they kind of, ran over me. They had a difficult time being managed by someone 23.
Exactly.
I don't think it had anything to do with money because they're making more than me, but I think it's just that that figure of authority being younger than them rubbed them the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually dealing with that right now. I mean, I'm the youngest guy in my department. I go to these conferences, these government conferences. I'm the youngest person by like 20 years. But banking's a little different than operations, but it's still, I'm still the youngest in the room, and
right.
I still feel like I need to earn my stripes in front of them. But I just if I have more knowledge than them, and they don't, and they're way older than me, then that's their fault. So it's kind of like, it's not my fault if they feel that way. I just need to improve, and I need to grow myself. And if they're getting triggered because someone's younger than them, then it was more than them, then that's not my problem.
Exactly
so
right.
Yeah.
See, and that's what you guys are going to come up against over and over again, training, fairly early on. I only say fairly because, like I said, this technically can start at 8 years old. Okay? So, I hear a doggy. Woo! Okay, so my dogs are at the babysitters right now, so I'm free as a bird. Okay, so that's amazing. And it's the beingness. Now, watch out for ego. And it's not about ego. It just comes down to, guess what? Respectful mutual communication. Because a lot of times, our elders or people, that have more experience, they're going to think they know more, but that's not necessarily true. But we don't disrespect them for that either. But this is one of those things, that's why I want to talk about it, is that's irrelevant. It's the beingness and the ability to communicate powerfully without ego. That's the key to the whole thing. So thank you, Bronson, for speaking into that. Anybody else would like to talk about that? Okay, that's a no. All right.
Hello?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Go ahead.
I was changing my speaker style on me. What was the question?
Yes, we're talking about authority figures, Cody. Speaking into to talk about dealing with authority figures or perceived authority figures, and what Bronson is sharing, and Tony, about the willingness to speak up. Even though
we had it goes back to the whole communication piece, and from losing a few deals and stuff, we found that it was because of not speaking up, and we correlated that figure to my dad's figure, and who I didn't speak up to, because I thought he had it under control, which was the same kind of figure my dad kind of cast it off on me as, he's got it, so I don't need to, communicate and speak up, and because of that, we lost the deal.
Yes.
We could have, saved it by speaking up, and so we look back and see, why that was through private coaching, and it's just the authority figure.
Ah, excellent, Cody. Let me just quickly recap on that. Brilliant to bring that up. Is that you were dealing with an authority figure, but you perceived him to be an authority figure because unconsciously you were projecting your father. Your father always had things handled. Yeah. Yes. And you just figured, oh, he's an authority figure. He's older. He's part owner of the company. He's got it handled kind of like my dad had it handled. Whereas your dad's responsible that way.
Yep.
Okay? And you didn't even know that was the issue till we went and dug deep, right, Cody? And when you saw it, it made sense, didn't it?
Yep. And it's just the fear of not speaking up and not
having a voice.
Of having a voice.
Right, because your dad never really allowed you to have a voice or speak up. Is that right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that is so great that you brought that up. Guys, do you understand this? Cody didn't even know. He was triggered unconsciously thinking that the authority figure, like his dad, had it under control when in fact he didn't. That's where age doesn't matter. He was at, that was not the case. And Cody also thought that he didn't have a right to speak up because that's how he was trained. Like, his dad saying, my way or the highway. And then when Cody realized that, Cody, it opened you up, yes, to speak up.
Oh, very much so. And it's allowed me to unblock that filter to speak up to anyone and anything.
Yes. Congratulations. Okay, that is so... that's the best stuff right there. Is we don't even know we're blindsided. Then find the root cause and boom. And you've been speaking up right and left now, Cody. Isn't that right?
Oh, right, left, up and down.
All right. Does anyone else have any major breakdown? Like where you were just like, ugh. But the insight, right? When you connected the dots and then the huge result. It could be with money, relationships, something you wanted, does anyone have last call for that? And then we're going to do something super cool to finish it off. Go ahead.
I want to quickly share just the communication piece. That's a really big piece in anything and everything.
Okay, Cody, speak up. Hang on. Okay, speak up, please, so we can hear you. Go ahead.
So I've been not in such a good, growing up, I always stuttered and I couldn't, clearly speak. And over the last 2 years, the last year, I really spoke up a lot more. And it has everything to do with coaching and being super conscious and aware, but just putting in the reps and putting in time to make the calls and over time get better at speaking. And that's just one thing that I can kind of applaud myself on is the ability to speak up now and speak a lot better and clearly.
Oh, wow. Okay, yes. Especially children who come from stuttering. You learn early on not to speak, to overcompensate. And Cody, for you to even share that, that's amazing. And then what you're saying is, yes, you've come from not speaking or feeling comfortable to speak to really showing up and speaking in ways that put you in the driver's seat, but you're able to override the uncomfortableness by being super conscious and aware. Is that right, Cody?
Yeah, and just having more confidence too. When you can't speak, you have lack of confidence, and therefore it's hard to control any environment and take power back. And especially when we're negotiating, a lot of our business revolves around buying the house on the right, for the right price on the front end.
Yes. And
it's up to us to negotiate that price in a way that it makes sense for everybody.
Yes. And that's a very tricky place to be. And the deal's made on the front end, not the back end. And it's all about the price on the front end. And that's scary.
Yep.
So congratulations. You guys are killing it. Okay. So I just want to say your willingness to be vulnerable. So I'm acknowledging all of you for showing up and saying, here's where this is what I was struggling with. This is where, I had issues. To be able to admit to our weaknesses only gives us more strength within. And I'm acknowledging all of you for that ability to show up, be vulnerable, to share where, something in your own life within yourself isn't working, and then to articulate what you got from it and the results. This is an art form, and it's one of the most attractive, magnetic ways of being that all humans on the planet can relate to, whether they ever do it for themselves or not. It's endearing, it's compelling, and this is where people say, wow, there's something, I can't quite pinpoint it, right, Chris? I can't quite pinpoint it, but there's something different about you. Isn't that true? And yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yes. But they're just still compelled and drawn toward you. And this is where the opportunities show up. All of the wealth is people to people. contribution, being of service, communication, but accountability. Being able to say, no, I don't think we're a match. Or, I don't think this is going to be a deal for us, unfortunately. But I think you're an amazing human being. The willingness to say no, hold people accountable as we hold ourselves accountable. All right. So that said, to finish it off, because, man, I don't want to hang up and, end this, because I love hearing everything you guys are saying in terms of your successes and knowing how much of a contribution you are being to the listeners. And even if just one person listens and goes, oh my gosh, and is inspired, that's all that matters. But even if nobody listens, so, what are you guys getting out of this? So I want you right now to pick one person in the group and acknowledge them for something that touched you or inspired you. So you want to think with everyone who shared, that's why I said pay attention. I want you to just pick one person and acknowledge them from your perspective, from your point of view. And if you're able to, we want each person to acknowledge another person. So before we do that, go ahead and pick a person and make sure everyone has somebody. And if somebody's left out, then I will acknowledge that person. Ha ha ha. How do you like that?
I've got my person, Karen, and I'm kind of
I've got mine too.
Okay, wait. You guys all have your people?
Yep,
All right.
yep.
So, does somebody have Cody? Did somebody pick Cody? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, did somebody pick Chris? Yes or no?
Yeah, I got Chris.
Okay, somebody pick Bronson.
Yep.
Okay, Colin. Somebody pick Colin?
I got Tony, so you can get Colin.
Yeah.
Oh, Colin. Okay, you're right, because you know what? I think there are 5 of you, so we did need 6. So somebody, okay, here we go. Let's go. Cody, you're first.
I got it, Karen. Bronson, I've seen something of Bronson. We've known each other for the last year and a half, and I've seen something that attracted me to want to do business and work with him. And all I knew that I wanted to do is get him through coaching. And the fact that he has shown up and still kind of a part of this whole shindig thing kind of excites me, because I see a lot of potential in Bronson down the road as a threesome with us and just building this empire. And I want to acknowledge him for showing up and also showing out too, speaking up. He is one that I've seen that has maybe been a little bit quieter to getting out of his shell. I think it's because of being he's awake now, and just kind of growing through that breakdown and breakthrough stage of where we are, and just speaking up to his manager for promotion, having a voice, and also just being here on the call today and still a part of this kind of coaching stuff.
Wow. Bronson, did you take that in?
Take that in. Even the threesome part is good. It was I was friends with those 2 guys for about 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And their business has grown tremendously over the last 2 years. I feel like every conversation I've had with each of them recently has been extremely intentional. Each word that comes out their mouth compared to 2 years ago. So it's like a healthy relationship between them two.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that a lot. So look up to both those guys, and we don't hang out as much as we used to, but we're extremely very busy people. But there's mutual respect, and I'm excited to help them whenever I can, because I respect those guys. So.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Hey, same to you, man.
Oh, it's a bro fest. Such a bromance.
The big B's.
Yeah. You guys are amazing. This is awesome. Okay, I want to get to Colin, Tony and Colin, because I think they have to work today. So, Colin, do you want... who did you pick to acknowledge?
I picked Chris.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I want to
acknowledge Chris for is his leadership. He has the ability. He was relating to everybody. He was being vulnerable himself, and he was. I could really relate to his progress through his accountability and communication through his work. We've been talking, and every call he always picks something new about himself, and he's always open to share it. But he just his leadership. I want to really highlight to gather everybody on the same page and be able to communicate effectively. I've seen such immense progress, but also it's very inspiring. So I really want to highlight that. I know he's just constantly getting better. It's amazing, it really is. But he just affects everybody around him, which is a characteristic of him that really should go noticed, because he's just progressing every day and bringing up people with him.
Wow, Chris. How you feel?
Man, out the flames. I'm cheesing over here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. I often don't think of myself like that because I guess I only see my imperfections rather than the things that I am doing well. So it's amazing to hear that and to take that in.
And you're able to
really
take that in.
Appreciate that. I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoy the conversations we have to progress and to see the progress that I have made, because oftentimes when I talk to Colin, we review the week and kind of talk about the breakdowns and breakthroughs that we've had. So, I appreciate that, Colin.
Wow. Woo! Oh, my God. Is it getting hot in here? Okay. That's amazing. All right, Tony. Who did you pick?
Yes. All right, so I picked Cody.
Okay.
So right off the bat, I was excited coming into this call just because it was a group call. And I was eager to share as well. And right off the bat, when he shared, I strongly resonated with what he was going through, because it was very similar to what I was feeling when I was going through. So like he within those couple of minutes, he demonstrated his growth, and talked about it a lot, and getting a review, or many reviews on his performance. And he was talking about how the work with you has helped him, out a lot, and it was just it felt very like nice and warm and very inspiring too.
Yes.
Very welcoming, just to be like, very nice. Yeah, very welcoming. To be like, hey man, congrats, that's awesome. Like I'm not the only one, but that's awesome. Makes you want to even go harder. Makes you want to go push even more. So I want to give him props to that.
Hey, thanks, Tony. I'm not sure. I don't know if we've ever spoke before, but
no.
As soon as you spoke, I was like, man, this guy Tony can speak. What's going on over there in Cali?
Yeah, you bro. Yeah, nice talking. Nice talking to all of you, actually.
Yes, I knew you would enjoy the group. But yeah, Cody,
yes.
You can take that in from someone you don't even know.
And it was kind of weird. I was kind of like, internally somewhat attracted to this new guy, Tony, who's the new guy, it's crazy that he picked me, because I was kind of like, there I said it again, just attracted on the front end of who's this new guy in the group here. But I like the inspiration part, because I do try to get the best out of other people. And if I can help correlate a message or send a, cast out a relatable message out there, that kind of helps me grow internally too, to help somebody else grow. So it's good to reflect and fathom.
Yeah, see, isn't this fun? I love this exercise. This is one of my favorite exercises. It really is impactful and meaningful to get acknowledged from, by somebody you don't even know, right? And that is incredible. So guys, thank you for that. All right, let's see. Who do we have left? I know.
I'd like Chris to acknowledge Tony.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, Chris. Get Tony the Tiger.
All right. So Tony, first off, you coming in, being in the coaching with Karen, I think it says a lot about who you are because Karen's not training those that are of the faint-hearted. So, it's amazing to see that you're in, and so I got to acknowledge you on that, because you got what it takes. And also, to further that point, that you have what it takes, you to stop smoking is huge. For me, my mom has smoked my whole life, and so for you to stop that very early on with the coaching with Karen means a lot and says a lot about the work, but also your willingness to change. And so that's that. I don't really know how else to say it. That's like the biggest acknowledgement for me to give.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Tony. How'd that feel? Again, you're acknowledged by someone you don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it feels good, it feels really good. Thank you for those kind words, man, because, we're always stuck on, like, what else we could work on, what we don't like about ourselves, and it's having a hard time accepting the good things, but naturally, it just feels good, it just feels good.
Yeah. From, again, somebody you don't know in another state. Never, right? You've never spoken, and he chose you. And that's really super cool, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It's dope.
I know, right? And then, Chris, brilliant observation with the whole smoking thing. And relating that to your mother.
Oh, yeah.
See the contribution? Just Tony sharing that about his own success, acknowledging himself and sharing it. Chris, you got something really amazing from that. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
I just did. I was like, whoa! Ah! Excellent. Yes! Is that there is the power to affect others in our beingness. And that there's still hope, right, Chris? That you have that to help your mom.
Right.
Yep, stop smoking. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Woo! All right, guys. Thank you for that. Is it my turn to acknowledge Colin? Colin.
Yep.
Oh, here we go, Col. All right, back up, guys. There'll be a lot of hooting and howling here. All right, number one. This is so perfect that I would end up with Colin here because Colin is starting his private coaching tomorrow. Right, Col?
Yep.
Amazing. So
Nice.
okay. Number one, Colin, you blow my mind. And the reason why is, I'm going to say it right out. I see you as the next better, superhuman, supernaturally powered, my favorite, Steve Jobs. I see you in the light of Steven Jobs, creator of Apple. Why? Couple things. Steve Jobs was such a profound visionary. He saw things that so far ahead that he would scare the crap out of most people. Okay? And he did go for the money. He didn't quite have the passion. So you are the trained version. If I could have trained Steve Jobs, that would have been so fantastic because he and I are spiritually connected. He was searching for the thing you were signing up for. He was searching for the inner peace, the inner knowing, the inner calm. He dabbled in Eastern mysticism. He loved art and calligraphy. He was so desperately searching for the answers like you, Colin. He was so innovative, like beyond anybody. But unfortunately, what he didn't have is that connection to his inner child, which you are now training for. Colin, I will say this, and I'm getting chills, is that if you, provided you keep training, you have it in you to change the world at the magnitude that my Steve Jobs, I say my, because I'm so connected to him, that Steve Jobs, in the light and the footprint of Steve Jobs, that's how I see you. And that's what I want to acknowledge you for you jumping in. I think you're close to one of the youngest guys on the call here, and you by far have such deep, introspective, curious questions and which is a lot of me. And I see a lot of myself in you. And I will tell you, with that type of vision, and everything from the moment I spoke with you for the first time, just in an introduction call, I knew that you had it in you to completely be a global game changer. And that's only because you said that's what you wanted. And when you said that, I said yes, because someone in your demographic doesn't think about changing the world at such a high level so early on. And so that is my acknowledgement to you. Colin Cagle, no longer of Cagle's Bagels. Yes! Woo! How you doing, Carl?
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks, Karen. Honestly, that gave me chills, so thanks for that. I've said and thought a lot about things that you said, but it's hard to like actually think about that and be like, oh man, this is part of my life now, and accepting that truth and the process of getting there. So thanks for acknowledging me for that, and it's been a hell of a journey so far, and there's like so many breakthroughs and breakdowns, and that's the thing that always keeps me going. So thanks for that, Karen. It really means a lot. I literally got chills while you're talking.
Okay, great. And that's, yes, because that's what you want. You want to have chills. Does anyone have any quick comments on that acknowledgement to Colin, or how I was acknowledging him? Go ahead.
I share the same sentiments in that the questions Colin asks is pretty phenomenal, and I'm like, just by the questions he asks, he is better able to implement things faster, and also it's just his train of thought and how he thinks about things. It's very very interesting, and something that I definitely draw inspiration from myself.
Yeah, and no pressure, call, right? Like, there's no pressure. I just want to make sure that the disclosure and the disclaimer here. Yes, there's no pressure, but to be told, because I had several really high profile, influential coaches, therapists, very prominent people say things to me, and it was almost like, whoa, in a similar light. From the moment they met me or they saw me, they saw something, but you don't want to also, there's no pressure. This is just the beginning, but you want to take that and just cherish it and keep it close to your heart, because it's really awesome for all you guys to hang on to someone seeing something in you that, there's no expectation here. There's no attachment. Just cherish that gift, right? This is only a beginning. You've got a long way to go, but to just know that at least one person in almost 8 billion people on the little blue-green marble sees you in that light. And, I will say, I can say it from the moment we spoke. And of course, you came highly recommended. I mean, it's because the referral came from Chris. But there are things, and you just want to cherish that. Don't overthink it. You don't need to live into it, and have any pressure. Just cherish being seen as that and own it. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are complete for today. I would like to ask...
Aaron.
Yes.
I wasn't able to acknowledge anyone.
Oh!
So I want to acknowledge you, if you let me.
Oh! Sorry, Bronny.
Oh!
Oh my God, we forgot. I'm like, is there anything else? Oh my God. Thank God you're in coaching to speak up, Bronson. Oh my God. Oh, yes. Go ahead, Bronson.
I want to acknowledge you for taking extreme action, to grow your business, and especially being a service to us and others. I've come to realize that, everyone's at a different place, in their lives, and these guys would change the world because of your coaching. The beauty of what you do is, you meet us where we're at. You give us that push to understand where we want to be and our highest potential. you bring us to our darkest places from our childhood to understand, our limiting beliefs. That's very difficult, but we're all extraordinary individuals, and you've made us realize that. Learning from our relationship to money and my mom, how that relates, as well as how I view my father. You've helped me in my relationship with him get better tremendously. My relationship with my wife has improved because of you, because I understand her emotional state and where she comes from. You've taught me that when my relationship with myself is healthy, my relationship with others improves. I accept where people are because I've accepted where I am. So I thank you, Karen, and I'm excited to see where your journey continues and with the growth of your business. So I commend you for that. Thank you.
Wow, Bronson, I am so moved right now. I apologize. I thought we did everyone. I was so excited. I couldn't have planned this any better. It's almost like we scripted it. And it's like, thank you, because it was so unexpected. I was not expecting it. I was not, wasn't saying, okay, right? I didn't think of it that way. So for you to step up, you of all people, I've seen grow like beyond belief, and just with the coaching calls, not even the private. You're not in private. You're just doing the coaching. And for you, ironically, but so appropriate and apropos, is you needed to speak up, and I'm so glad you did. So I can take that in, because it means the world to me. And this is where I don't expect it. It's even better. So Bronson, thank you so much for everything that you said. And I am so touched with how you just said your relationship to your father is better, and your wife. And that to me is everything. Oh no, I don't want to cry. Okay, that's my favorite cry.
Make me cry.
I know. I mean, because that in the end, guys, is all that matters. We can throw my truck and my tractor and my horses. Like, I want to take them with me, but for in the next lifetime to hear that I am the facilitator and the messenger to help you have a better relationship with your wife and your father. And you said father first. That's everything to me, because that's all that matters in the end. And that's the only thing we can take with us. So thank you, Bronson. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Gee, we got to do this more often, guys, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Big shout out to both of you.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said big shout out to both of you, Bronson, for speaking up, and you for acknowledging, or taking into the acknowledgement.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Chris, because, I mean, I thought we covered everybody, but, that is so, it's just so perfect. You can't script these things. You can't write it. You guys are amazing. All of you, every single one of you. You all have your specific genius and your brilliance, and you all have your weaknesses and your, the things that, you need to work on, as I do. But again, I will just say all of you are so far ahead of the curve, beyond belief, evolved consciously. And you're all changing the world and transforming the world right now, one person at a time, one dog at a time, one cat at a time, in just who you're being in your current present world and where you are in every moment. Do you all understand this?
Yes.
You see this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You are already changing the world and humanity for the better, just being who you're being right here, right now. And it keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's all you got to do is, stay with it. Stay committed and devoutly connected to your inner selves. And that'll do it. Okay? So, woo! Is there any last words, guys? Does anyone else want to say anything before we end this love fest?
Yeah, I'm ready to kill work right now.
Got me moved.
All right, great. Yes. Okay. So you guys have a happy Halloween. I want to drink your blood. That's Count Chocula. I want to drink your blood. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everything and for being a huge contribution to me and the world and our listeners. I can't thank you enough. Enjoy your day, your weekend. Happy Halloween. And until next time, thank you so much. Okay, guys. Toodaloo.
Toodles. Thanks, Karen.
Later, guys.
Thank you. Okay, bye.